A few things have happened since we last saw Georgia play football, and it kind of leads the question as follows. How much are these young defensive linemen that Georgia just signed, how much are they going to have to play in 2022, no matter if Georgia has a successful season or not? As you recall, Jordan Davis, um, Devonte Wyatt, Trayvon Walker, they're all gone. I mean, I doubt they will all three be first round guys, but I doubt they won't all be taken by the 60th pick. So you're talking about some real skill in that Georgia front that is gone now. And whereas you return probably the best player in the program in Jalen Carter, who I would take slightly above all those three guys that I just mentioned before, it's not just him. You've got him, Nolan Smith. You've got the return of Robert Beal. I've talked a lot over the years about Zion Logue. He's going to have a good season. But when you take a look at where Georgia's at coming in, it is clear. Well, two things have happened. All right. Number one, they got some really good players that they signed that are going to have to come in and play some. Now, how much? I don't know the answer to that. I don't. I'm not some total expert on these matters. That's something that Kirby and them are gonna have to figure out. But when you start looking at, like, for instance, Mikael Williams, Barry Alexander, Marvin Jones, these are all guys that are exceptional players. Those three alone. But Georgia signed seven guys that are defensive linemen. I would not consider Darius Smith a defensive lineman, but and for these purposes, what I'm talking about, he's an edge rusher, yes. Watch Christian Miller and Darius Smith play one another when Cedar Grove played Appling the night before the Alabama Georgia game in Atlanta. You know, Smith was more disruptive, but he was an edge player. With that said, you also have Marvin Jones. They kind of, guys that I think are built to play quick are Williams, Alexander, and Jones. But we're going to see. I mean, Williams, Alexander, Sean Washington, and Jones are all there now, if I'm not mistaken. I think Carlton Madden is there too from Cedar Grove. And you never, and he's kind of more of an edge guy than the guys I'm talking about. But I'm getting off the point. The point is they've signed a bunch of guys, and the three guys I've discussed have been interior defensive lineman guys. Now, um, some of the people I'm talking about are not edge guys, but Williams is an interior guy. Bear is an interior guy, and Washington is more of an interior guy. Christian Miller is definitely an interior guy. I do want to see. You know what? Let me tell you something first. If you want to pick up DAWGSTRUCTION, you can make sure to get the link down below. There's also a really exciting autograph signing that's going to be on March 24th, the weekend, in a couple of weekends. Make certain to get the dates right. The 26th and 27th, you have the capability to see actually several of the guys I've already mentioned, including James Cook, um, Trayvon. Let me get it right. I'm over here thinking so much about what's going on. But this is a great opportunity if you want to see James Cook, Jordan Davis, Devonte, Nakobe Dean, as well as three guys that are still on the team: Stetson, Brock Bowers, and the aforementioned Jalen Carter. It's a great event. It's in Gwinnett, so all of y'all um, that are near Sugarloaf Parkway, you can do that. It's at Gwinnett County Fairgrounds. Make sure you're clicking that down below. Make sure you're getting DAWGSTRUCTION. You can get the guys to sign this. And I think we're actually going to be there on site selling the book, which you cannot get it in retail right now, with the exception of the Red Zone in Athens. The group that I'm talking about is going to have to play. How much they'll play, I don't know. But if you're in the rotation, that means you're knocking someone out or taking snaps from Jalen Carter, Zion Logue, Nolan Smith, Robert Beal. These are all guys that are, really good players. Obviously, Beal returning as the team's top sack guy from 2021 national championship season. Um, the ingredients are all there for this to be a good team and a good defensive line. But I'm going to tell you right now, this isn't about flash. This isn't about, reputations. Everybody likes to put down the recruiting services, which is whatever. I mean, okay. But Williams and Alexander specifically, and probably Miller too, they're going to have to get leaned on. They're going to be leaned upon to get Georgia where it needs to go as we get ready for this 22 season. Straight up, right off the bat with Oregon, and then a couple weeks later with Carolina. I mean, those are going to be physical games. That's not going to be dealing with like Kentucky or like Florida. Well, it's not going to be like dealing with Kentucky, but you better be ready to go. I mean, they're going to be coming right at you. If the strength of Georgia's team this past season was stopping the run, and it was, if you can punch something through that as the other team, you're going to do that, and it'll open everything else up. That's why Williams, Bear, Logue, Jalen Carter, everybody, they're all going to have to be ready to play. I do think this is one spot for Georgia that is, important. They need to have these guys ready to play. And for all of the discussion of Jordan Davis this past season, and he was an exceptional player for Georgia. He was. Trayvon Walker was exceptional, and so was Devonte. You're losing three guys that it's going to be tough to replace. They can replace them. Trayvon Walker played immediately when he was at Georgia. Devonte and Jordan were developed. Not that Trayvon wasn't, but Williams, Alexander, and Miller are going to have to be ready to go. I think the other guys too. I mean, Marvin Jones is. I'm keeping this to interior guys, but Marvin Jones is. If he's as good as it looks like, if he's as good as people talk about, he's going to have to be ready to roll too. So you're talking about, are these young guys going to have to play? Yeah, they are, and they're not just going to be playing in the App State game. They're going to be dependent on the same way Jalen Carter was coming out of the gates, the same way Trayvon Walker was. Jalen didn't get spring ball. Trayvon didn't either. So those two guys, their talent showed from the get-go. Can the young men that are coming in to replace Trayvon, Jordan, Devonte, can the young guys come in and get it done and have these type of moments right here where you're flipping quarterbacks on their heads? We're going to see. And if you're not ready, this team's not going to be as good as it should be. That's the kind of warning in all of it. I think those guys need to be ready to roll. Hey, check out DAWGSTRUCTION below. Make sure you're checking out the link to this awesome autograph signing with James Cook and everybody else I mentioned below. We'll see you on the website.